So to understand the theory of karma, we need to understand also the theory of reincarnation. Life does not end with death, according to yogic philosophy. So this life is only one chapter of a big, thick book of your life. So we need to look deeper into the cause of our struggles or our luck, which might come from beyond this life. The law of cause and effect, when applied, can be very simple. For example, if we enjoy peace and health now, it is because we have contributed to peace and health of someone sometime. If we suffer from loneliness, it is because we have created isolation in somebody sometime. If we face a situation that seems like a choice between being selfish and survive, or being compassionate and humble and risking our lives, it is because in the past, when confronted with the same situation, we have always chosen the former, the other option. So we are being given the same choice again in order to choose differently. Similarly, if we feel that lying or manipulating a situation will be to our advantage, we need to choose honesty and straightforwardness and find strength in having good character or doing the ethical thing. So genuinely helping another person to attain more material comforts in their life will manifest in yours as a boon of good fortune. So always come back to the same idea, cause and effect. So we need to take responsibility of our life and our choices. Karma works everywhere. It's a law. Karma does not work differently at work or in private life. There's also a group collective karma. You're born in a certain era, a certain society, certain level of technological development. It is all karma. Everything is interrelated. By improving your character at work, you improve your happiness at home. By improving your relationship at home, you improve your business as your energy will flow better. So cultivating contentment with what you have already been given releases you from the karma of constant restlessness, of desiring more. Giving freely and charitably results in greater wealth coming your way. So these are different examples of how it works. If you are stingy, for example, then it will bring a sense of lack, of never having enough. Okay? So if you maintain pure intentions, which come from your heart, it will bring you lasting peace of mind. But sometimes, if you follow the head and sometimes you follow the heart, it will bring confusion, fragmentation, and problems in the future. So seeking inspiration from the wise people while avoiding backbiting and gossiping attracts supportive people that will be key to your success. Yeah, so sometimes you have a lot of help and you don't know how. People just show up and help you. Yeah. In the same manner, if you are negative, if you are divisive,
Swamiji,
yeah.
I'm trying to get in touch with Ambika. She needs to unmute herself so they can hear her. They cannot hear the Chinese channel. Okay, she just did it.
Okay now?
Hopefully.
Okay. Okay, so we talk about karma again. We talk about the different scenario karma, how it works. If you read something, then the result will be there. And sometimes can be very complicated, and sometimes you don't know how it comes and why it comes, but it must be some reason in the past. You see, so if um, you are generous in the past, and now all of a sudden, then people will be helping you, for example. Eh? And sometimes you have a situation that you cannot control, situation that you are feeling that you are not in control, and you feel very frustrated about it. It's because you have to learn that there are situations that you can never control. Okay? So karma situation is always for us to learn something. You have to learn to let go of control, and you have to learn that there are subtler forces that are at work. Yeah. And then you have insight into the interconnectivity of all things and the self-regulating nature of creation. Okay. So things are more complex than what we think it is. And every step in our life, we are learning. Everything, in fact, is perfect. We just often fail to see it. So we cultivate this belief in this truth that everything is perfect and there's a reason about everything, then it will help us to have peace and relaxation. Otherwise, we all the time feel very anxious because we think that things are haphazard. Anything can happen anytime. It happened to somebody, why it's not happening to us? So we feel very anxious. Okay, but there is a law that operates everywhere, and the law of cause and effect. So we have to understand how it works. Most of the time, people don't understand what karma is, and they think that when you talk about some karma, they think that is something bad happened, and we talk about karma. But bad or good, the karma is everything about our life. Okay, so we would go through a little bit the 12 area of karma, so you understand that everything is karma. What that means, everything that is your life is only a setup for you to learn your lesson, for you to grow from where you are, and it is not necessarily you. It looks like you, yeah, but it is it's like a play, and you are playing a role in a certain in certain movie or play, and you have to play the role in order for you to understand the emotion. You have to really feel it, and then you understand. See? So the 12 area karma, the more you identify, the 12 area karma, but we try to understand this different area karma because we try to not identify with our karma. Okay, so you understand the point? So I will go through the description of the different aspects of our karma in order for us to understand that we need to not identify with them. Okay? So the number one is the body. Okay, so the first area of karma is your body. The body is said to be the battlefield where the karmic lessons are learned. From the seed of karma sprout out the body and mind. Okay, the body comes with the mind. With the body, you inherit a certain psychology, yeah, pertaining to your gender, pertaining to your race, pertaining to your culture, pertaining to your family and your lineage. Okay, so the collective karma also comes with it. You are born male, female, white, yellow, black, poor, sick. So the karmic condition comes with it, comes with the body. Yeah? You also inherit from the moment you're born a certain amount of life force. Some are born healthy with lots of life force. Some are born weak, not so healthy. Some are born with fire element constitution, prone to action. Some are born with water element, prone to emotions. The karma with the body is already there. Male, female, strong, weak. Everything, what you call yourself, you refer to your body and mind, but in fact, it is your specific karma that you're born with. And then you also are born in the family with your relatives, your parents, relatives, and your resources. So this is the karma of being supported or not. Supported materially or not. Sometimes you are born in a family, wealthy family, and sometimes you have the situation, the karmic situation, where whatever you do, you're always poor. You're always not having enough money. Okay, and then you have the karma relating to your siblings, relating to your communication skill, relating to your self-will, and then the most important thing, the karma relating to your heart or your emotions and your happiness. Yeah, so it relates to your mother, your home, your house, your property. So all these are part of karma. Then you have karma of your children. If you don't have children, then you have karma of your creativity, of your education. You have karma about your health and disease. Yeah, it's all also karma. Health, disease, and all your challenges. Sometimes you find your life more conflictual. You have people that are disliking you, and that's also karmic origin. And you have karma with your partner, your husband, your wife. Either it is very easy, comfortable, or it is difficult, or you have karma with something hidden in your psychology, in your psychic mind. Yeah. Also your time of death and leaving the body. All these are kind of predetermined. Yeah. And then you have the karma with the teacher, with your father, with your tradition, with your religion, your faith, and karma with your work, with your career, with your name and fame. That means your contribution to society. Sometimes some people are more visible, and sometimes they want to be visible, but nobody sees them. And sometimes people are very famous. They suffer from the karma of being famous because they don't have any kind of private life. Yeah. And sometimes your work is very fulfilling.
Oh,
And
Swamiji.
sometimes
Sorry.
not.
I just want to let you know Naranjan Babu is here watching. You can see him there.
It's okay. Don't interrupt me, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. So you always have the karma with your community, your friends, your area of gain or loss. So you have an idea now, the 12 area of karma. So in this different karma, the one thing in common is you would have to detach from them and find yourself. In relationships and in work, in gains or losses, at home or in society, in your creative intelligence or in your emotions, you would have to observe the place of karma and find yourself. In Sanskrit, it says your Atman, or your true self, through it. What that means, that means that the detachment is very important. The observation of our life is very important. Not to identify ourselves too much with our karma and really suffer from it, but some level of wisdom is needed when we are dealing with our karma. You would have to find yourself in others, because there's a lot of relationship karma. Okay, so you have to find yourself in others to solve this relationship karma. And so we need to think about destiny and self-effort. So you might think that if everything is karma, then you don't have choice. But it's not correct. It is said that we have free choice. Yeah. So even though the choices are limited, okay, so you cannot change. Sometimes your things are fixed, like your constitution, like your family or your culture, your body, yeah, limited, but still we have free choice, and that is the point. Okay. So what happened today is already predetermined, even though we do not know from when and how things will manifest. However, it is not a fatalistic view. Okay, that's a very important point. People make mistakes all the time. They think if the karma is all there, so what's the point? For me to make effort. Yeah, it's supposed to happen anyway. So what's the point? Yeah, but it's not a fatalistic view. Actually, it's the opposite. Because you become aware of your karma, yeah, so you will make the effort, and that we'll talk later about this. You make the effort in order for you to be able to change your attitude. You cannot change a certain things that already happened, but you can change in the present. You can change. Okay, so it is said that all the challenges in this life are opportunities for growth and for success in the future. So it's quite an optimistic kind of theory, that you can actually change. And sometimes we feel like overwhelmed. We feel that nothing can change, and we feel like lost and defeated. But we need to remember that we have our free will, and even though things seem to be very limited, but still you can change. And the main thing is to change your own angle of view and to change yourself. Certain things you cannot change from outside, but you can change yourself, the way how you look at it. So we have to be very careful with our free will, yeah, so that we do not suffer. So we exercise our free will in order for us to come closer and closer to our peace and happiness, and not the opposite, to bring us suffering. So, but when we are acting out of our past habits, okay, so these are the whole big theory about the mind, how the mind has deep grooves, deep impressions from past, and we are driven by the mind to keep repeating and doing the same thing, even though it might not bring us to our ultimate peace and happiness, but it's very difficult for us to change. That's here that yoga training or yoga practice comes in. It's possible to be aware, and it's possible to change certain deep ingrained habits. We are not powerless. We are not victim. Yeah? We can change our character and our attitudes. Yeah? If not, we are bound and we are not free. We think that we can do whatever we like. It's not true. When we do whatever we like, we are more bound. But when we can be aware of our tendency and we can train ourselves to react differently or to act differently, yeah, it comes with awareness and training. Then you are moving closer to your freedom. So yoga teaches us self-effort, yeah, to control our own mind. Okay, so sometimes we think the self-effort normally we're thinking about is a self-effort to do things externally for an external success, but not in the yoga philosophy. And we talk about the self-effort to control our own mind and to realize our true self and to be conscious and wise about our choices, yeah, and eventually free us from the tendency to produce the same mistakes. So you get that? I think it's very important, and I like to repeat the sentence again. Okay? So we think that we are free to do whatever we like, to move where we like, be with whoever we want, talk whatever we like, you know, eat whatever we like, sleep wherever we like. We think this is our freedom. According to yoga, these are external freedom. It's not really the true freedom. The true freedom is a freedom from karma. I mean, the true freedom is a freedom from repeating the same tendency of our personality. That means of our karmic tendencies. Okay, if we can move through this pattern or karmic tendencies, then at that time it is said that we come closer to our true freedom. Okay? So we need to manage our karma. That means you have certain things that come from the past, that is already there, there's a limitation, you have your freedom of choice, and you have to know how to deal with our life. Okay? So we say to manage the karma. Everyone has to be managing their karma. Okay, there's three things, very important. Number one is we need to care about our present duty. Okay, we need to care about our present duty. To work out your karma, you need to know what's your duty in the present and how you care about it. It's not actually what you think. You know, sometimes you get confused. You know, what is your duty? So number two, we keep our eyes on our total and ultimate self-development. Now that is very important. At the same time, we take care of this present karma, do our duty, but we need to keep an eye all the time, long vision on our potential, on our ultimate self-development, on our true self, on what we would love to become. Okay? And then number three, we accept all tests and challenges in life as only temporary. Okay? So all situations in life, we know is due to karma and it's temporary. Okay? So we have to develop forbearance and acceptance. That's how you manage your karma. You have to go through things. You have to accept You have to forbear, and you have to keep in mind your own beautiful self that is untouched by any of this situation, and you have to be wise in dealing with what the situation is now. Okay, so now it will help you to understand, if you know that there is no good karma and no bad karma. Okay, the idea is to be free from all karma, not just only, you know, from the bad karma, okay, but to be free from all karma. Life is not only challenges, but also it brings you some good things, yeah, and some bad things. And our normal psychology is we want the good things, and we don't want to deal with the bad things. Okay, but life is a combination of both good or bad karma. That means certain conditions that we are born in are easy, things that we didn't have to do anything, and yet they come to you. And there will be favorable conditions according to what we wish and desire. And then there will be unfavorable conditions that we have to struggle with. So we need to keep in an even mind in all conditions. So that's a yogic teaching. Keep an even mind in all situations. In fact, good or bad karma is just karma. Okay? In reality, there is no good karma, no bad karma. There is no good life, no bad life, no superior life, no lucky life, no unlucky life. It is just specifically your life. Everyone has their own life. And then you have to learn from it in order for you to be free from all karma. Okay? So when we say that somebody is more lucky than another, you know, it's relative. You have to take this with a grain of salt. Okay? When you think that this person is rich and this person is poor, you know, how bad it is, this person is rich, and it's not really true. Because you can see that some people are rich, but they are very miserable inside. And some people are poor, but they are happy inside. And they have very good, you know, relationship situation. So you cannot really just jump to conclusion too fast when you talk about karma. Okay, so the idea is life is a series of pluses and minuses. Everything is very dynamic. When we talk about karma, it's dynamic. It's not just something that is frozen. Yeah. So when a person is alive, yeah, the idea is we try to increase the karmic credits. This is a new concept. Karmic credits means, you know, some positive, some plus, we call it, and we need to diminish the karmic debits. Okay, so we use the language of accountancy. You know, we talk about a karmic bank balance. Okay, we want to increase the credit and decrease the debts, the debits. But we have to think about them from the inside. That means from your level of consciousness. What is credit, what is debit is depending on your level of consciousness. Your journey is a journey of self-realization toward oneness. So in this journey, you record your debts as a thing that you yet have to learn, and you record as credits as a thing you have learned. Okay, so credit plus means all the selfless actions, your study, your introspection, your meditation, anything that helps us bring awareness will give us credit. Okay, I mean it brings us closer to ourselves, to our truth, and we understand better. We make less mistake. Yeah, so these are credits. If you follow the Dharma or the Dharmic rules of conduct, then you accumulate credits. Okay, so if you are being good, nobody is watching, and yet you are being good. Yeah, so this in itself will accumulate your credits. Okay, oftentimes we become good only if somebody is looking, and if we are with ourselves, then we don't care. You see, that is because we are not really understanding that in this whole story, it's just us and us. Yeah. Any action that will help us to wake up is considered to be credit. Okay. Either you study, either you meditate, or anything that helps us to become more enlightened is called credit. And debit, we don't want to accumulate debts. Okay. So anything that makes us become more ignorant, or more veiled, or more dark, yeah, or more in denial, or more sleepy and more lazy. Yeah. So this will give us debt. Okay. Any action that will make us become more egoistic, more separated, and more deep into our illusion, these are considered to be debt. Okay. So the balance of the pluses and the minus shows your progress, and the accumulation of the pluses can bring you a total payment of all debts. Okay? And that is called liberation from all karma. Okay? So life is like this. If you become aware, then you try to accumulate as much merit as you can and diminish as much debt as you can. Okay? So what it means exactly, working out of karma, working out our karma and paying our karmic debts, what that means? It means experiencing the difficulties and slowly learning who the self is and who the self is not. Self here is a big S, yeah, who you truly are in your soul. For example, there's many examples we can take, but for example, relationship karma, you have to go through the different flavors of relationship, different aspects of relationships, in order for you to learn the real lesson of unconditional pure love. Okay? So more you can come to that unconditional pure love, then the more that you are paying debt, you are paying your karmic debt. Okay? So whatever karmic relationship situation is to help us to realize that the self is in the other person and is in me as one. So that's why you can have that unselfish or unconditional love, okay, for the other person. So that's the ultimate. Okay? That's when we say that we are paying our karmic debt. So what that means? That means that you have to be selfless. Okay? Selfless means not thinking that you are this separate ego self. Okay? You would learn self-love that also includes others. So I have other talk about this. Yeah, we call how to learn from karmic relationships. It's a big topic in itself. You can look up in the Yoga Farm blog that all the previous satsang, previous articles and YouTube are there. So, you know, all these topics are all interrelated and they're all very deep. So you can look up that one. Okay, but the main thing about karma is the idea of suffering. Okay, so if you suffer, the question is suffering a must when you are learning from karma? So that is the question. Suffering is subjective, okay? And is related to your reaction towards the karma. The karma might be there, but you don't have to suffer. But usually people would suffer because they react toward the karma. Okay? So the suffering is there as an incentive for you to learn, actually. Okay? So sometimes you want to escape from suffering and not learn. For example, you would escape in addiction, is a way of escaping, in disease, in self-pity, and in blaming others. At that time, you're not learning your karmic lessons, and you are diving deeper in the same way of seeing yourself and others. Okay? So it's not that easy, I know, because we always fall back in that same way of behavior, and you know, we end up blaming, or we end up having self-pity. But if you train yourself enough, then you can dig yourself out. The moment you find yourself in that same kind of attitude of not taking responsibility of your own mind and your own reaction and your own lessons, then you can step back in that. So it takes some level of training, okay? So you don't want to go back, yeah, because it's it's like you bind yourself even more. You don't want. You want to every step of your life to free yourself, coming closer and closer, yeah, and yoga and meditation will help you to do that. We can talk about this in a moment. Yeah? Life is a school. There's some kind of progress, even though different situations seem to be very different, but always there is progress, okay? So karma are being understood slowly, your karma. That means that you slowly, you become more detached. You change roles sometimes due to karma, so you can learn. Yeah? You suffer, so you can learn. So alleviation of karma means that you refine your idea about how you think about things. Okay? So sometimes we are in situation and we just wait until when this thing would change, when this thing would change, when this thing would change. Okay? So we expect it would change from outside. But there is one thing that we can do is to turn within and to change our own way of thinking about ourselves and about any external situation. That you can do. Yeah? You become selfless. And again, I repeat, detached. I mean, you cannot really make things go away, but you can have a mental attitude about your life or circumstances that help you to be to take the situation more lightly. So ultimately, you learn how to turn your karma to your dharma. You will not take yourself too seriously. Okay? You become detached and remember that the true self is the self and nothing can touch it, nothing can hurt it, and nothing can take away anything of it. Okay? Keep that in mind. Then you have peace of mind. It will be easier for you then to forgive and to offer everything up as karma yoga. So your life is a result of past karma, but you have choice in the present. In the present time, when you are aware, you can do something about alleviating your karma. You will have the choice, either reproduce the same situation as the one you inherit from the past, or change, become wise. Lift it up, just lift it, slide like this. Or become wise so that you don't reproduce again another karmic situation in the future. Sometimes the lessons are intense and lots of issues come up at the same time. So the intense purification that the world is going through now during the coronavirus pandemic is an example. Then the karma is accelerating and we have no choice but to face it. I can see the expression of the karma when people cannot entertain themselves. Yeah, so in all countries, you know, the essential thing like food and is open, but all the entertaining activities are closed. Like you cannot go to see movie, you cannot go to restaurant, you cannot go, I don't know, to the beach. Yeah, so many things are closed, and people are there with themselves. So somehow, the karma is accelerating. That means you have to really face it. So it's quite an intense time. So in these challenging situations, try to remember the karma, the theory of karma, and try to be more aware of the consequences of our action to rise to the task. That means the karma is demanding something from you now. Okay? You cannot be distracted. It's really in your face. It's difficult to bear. But at the same time, there is a possibility to go through it positively. That's the idea. Remember also that you're not perfect all at once. So don't be too hard on yourself. You always learn something, but you create new debts also at the same time. In the process of paying up your karmic debts, this process is very, very deep. It takes long-term training to control the mind and to stop the reacting tendency to the karma. Yeah, to stop creating new karma. It takes a long, 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 long time. We said that our journey of purification takes a long time. But it's better that you know it and you do it than you try to put the head in the sand and you deny it and you don't, you know, you don't deal with it. You have to deal with it one time or the other. It's better to deal with it now, well equipped, well aware. Yeah. For example, now You know, for some people, they feel that they're locked up. And sometimes the mind come up and say, oh, I cannot understand this. Why I have to do this? Why I cannot do whatever I desire? See? So at that time you fail to understand the universe lesson to you and others to turn inwards and to change consciousness. So sometimes our reaction is depression or anger, and it might lead us to do wrong actions. Okay? So a little bit it's okay, but it can be elongated, you know. Situation can really, you know, rub us in the wrong way. We become impatient. Yeah, we keep saying, why, when, why me, why me, why me? Yeah. So that's how you know it is a difficult karmic situation that you are facing. Collectively, we are facing. But remember, life is like a circle. When you are not perfect, you have wrong thoughts. Be patient with yourself. The wheel of karma, you learn something, but you create new debts. And that's how it works. It just goes on and on and on. You learn something, you don't learn something. You learn something, you don't learn something. It just go on and on, from classroom to classroom, from lifetime to lifetime learning. So what is karma yoga? So we talk about karma, we talk about how it works, we talk about pluses and minuses, or bank balances, we talk about true freedom, we talk about facing our karma, don't try to escape. So now we talk about this beautiful concept taught by yoga. Is a concept of karma yoga. Yeah. So karma yoga is the whole practice of karma yoga is a way to work through our karma by changing our sense of ourselves and also changing our identification with our actions, which is really very deep. We think that we are our actions. We think that we are this separate individual with this separate character, this separate temperament, likes and dislikes, and performing and doing these actions. But we are not seeing that it is our karma that is working out. Okay. So in karma yoga, there's a few principles. Karma yoga is that method to be free from karma. There's a few principles. The number one is your motivation needs to be pure. Your motivation behind an action needs to be pure. The motivation needs to stem from the heart, the true inner feeling. Let's say you want to help somebody, so your motivation is pure. But then you want to help somebody to be, so that people can recognize you and you become more famous. So at that time, your motivation is not pure. It might be starting pure, but then it becomes impure. So the idea is you have to get back to your pure motivation. So you get back to that karma yoga, selfless attitude. Okay? So you have to learn to develop the attitude of being the instrument only. Yeah? Not thinking that you are the boss of the boss and you call the shot. and that will create more karma. Okay? So you have to learn to be detached. Offer the result. In praises or censure, in success or failures, keep an even mind. Think that it's not about me. It's not about them. It's not about whether I like them or they like me. It has nothing to do with any of this. You offer the results of your action within yourself, in your mind, in your intention. That means you offer this karma up in order for you to continue to progress. Okay? So the other point in karma yoga is you do the best you can. You need to make the effort, but you need to learn to let go. Okay? Because if you make a lot of effort, and some people are very, I would say, perfectionistic, yeah. So they make the effort, and they blame themselves for not making enough effort. See, that's not karma yoga. Yeah? You have to make the effort, but you have to let go of the expectation, and you sleep peacefully. You don't worry too much. Okay? So you have to do your duty also. This is another point. When you do your karma yoga, you have to do your duty. That means whatever that your condition in life, you have to do your duty, and you have to persevere. Yeah, it's not just like you do and then you say it's enough. Okay, so now time for me to take a break. It's not like that. You have to keep persevering. You have to understand that these too shall pass, but not when you want it. Okay, actually, when you don't ask the question when anymore, when you completely surrender to that situation and you just do your best, and then you are peaceful and joyful, you don't ask anymore the question, and situation change automatically and you don't even notice. This is when you finish a karmic debt. So your karma will dictate to you your specific duty. There is no accident. No duty is an accident. If you follow your duty, you learn, even though it is difficult. At every station in life, you have a specific duty. Follow the discipline of your duty, and you'll be learning greatly. Many doctors and nurses nowadays actually are going through intense karma, doing their duty, even risking their lives to save others. They are in the front line. They are like in a war situation. This reminds us of the sublime teaching long ago, in the scripture of Arjuna, for those who know, the warrior disciple in conflict who receives on the battlefield the revelation about the immortality of the soul, the teaching on karma yoga, the teaching on duty, and the teaching about self-knowledge in action. These are very precious learning, and sometimes you learn in the most difficult situation in life. So now, another important point is, you need to remember is every karma is unique. You can only understand your own karma. You cannot understand another person's karma. Sometimes you can empathize. You can try to put yourself in the person's shoes and understand where they come from. But it's really very difficult to really understand a person. You can look at somebody's life and you can learn from them. But the scriptures say that it is better that you focus on your own karma and not on someone else's karma, even though it is easier for you to do so. For example, you find yourself in a situation that really very difficult to deal with, but your friend look at you and say, I don't know why you have such a big problem about this. If I'm you, I will do this. I will do that. So the friend will give you this advice. You have difficulty, the friend doesn't think that it is difficult, but you really have because of your own karmic difficulty. It is as if you are blind, while another person can see your problem easily. So it is said that you can take people's advice, you can hear the people, but you yourself have to deal with it. So the point is not to compare. It is not necessary to compare between people, between yourself and other people. Okay, so now we talk about this important point, the life mission. What that means, moving from karma to dharma, and how to find your life mission. So you know already what is the dharma. Dharma is right living, right action. Okay, so when you do your calculation of your karmic bank balance, earlier we talked about, when we talk about the column, the plus column, when you're doing all these right thing, you are learning, you are behaving, you develop good virtue, you become patient, and you follow the ethical guidelines. All these are part of your dharmic life. Okay? So you try as much as possible to follow dharma. Okay? Right living, right conduct. Okay? At that time you don't incur new karma debt. So karma yoga attitude helps you to turn your karma to dharma. So when you do karma yoga, you are already living a dharmic life. Okay? Now, you can turn your karma to karma yoga by being selfless and dedicating your service without expectation. Yeah, and this takes a lot of discussion, of course. If you have to go to work and you have to make money, you have to take care of your family, how can you have time to do selfless service? But it is not true, because it's an internal motivation, internal attitude. You can see that your work is service. You can also see that your relationships are selfless service. So it depends on situation. You have to work it out. But what I'm saying is it is possible. to have this karma yoga attitude in daily life. The main thing is the idea of selflessness. Okay? So you turn your karma into karma yoga by being more selfless. The selfless service is unique to you because you are the one that knows. Okay? And for you, sometimes when you encounter certain situation and you see it opens your heart, it's like a door opens. So you know this is an indication that whatever you did, the intention that you carry through your mind when you are doing this, somehow open the door of your heart. And you feel happy right away. So you need to notice this moment. Yeah, if you are happy, it's because you are just being selfless. Your attitude is correct somehow at that time. So that's why it is said that your selfless service is unique to you. Okay? And it turns your whole attitude around and touches your soul. So this is important. So when we say life mission, is when you really understand something so deeply, and you wake up and you enter into this open door, yeah, to your soul, to your heart, you like. Okay, so then at that time you find new horizon, new way of being, and you find your mission in life. You start first with some selflessness, but you know, because you have that specific karma, so that specific attitude that you have, yeah, considering your karma, yeah, will open you up, and then it gives you an insight into your life mission. You turn your selfless service into your life mission. Life mission, that means it's a long term. When you understand that this sublime attitude that you just have has to be kept throughout life. Okay? So you can see people that have found this, yeah, it's always their life mission. And they never forget. They always come back to the same thing, and the same idea. And it's like a signature, you see? Karma is like a signature. And now you understand it, and you know the way out, and you keep repeating it over and over again. Then it becomes your life mission, because it brings you the meaning. Everyone is seeking for a life mission because they want to have a meaningful life. Because very often time when they have to deal with their karma, they feel that they are living external to themselves and they don't find any meaning to their life. That's when people become depressed. Okay? But when you find meaning to your life, then it's like a door open to heaven. So remember that you cannot solve the problem, any problem, on the same level of consciousness that created the problem at the first place. Yeah? So this is something to remember again and again. So your life mission is to go back to this place of selflessness that will set you free. Okay? Examples. A homeless, abandoned woman somehow opens a shelter for homeless women and teach the woman self-esteem and self-confidence. Yeah, I have heard testimony of cases like this. Yeah, the person become famous, is completely abandoned and completely miserable, and then she turned it around and she opened this. She gathered a few people, she served few people, and then she opened a big institution. Yeah, all her life she's doing this. So that person has found her mission. She has turned her karma into dharma. A grieving wife, for example, due to the loss of the beloved husband to disease, speaks out about the virtue of love beyond death. Okay? So she solved that problem within herself, and she becomes selfless worker to help people with disease. So that's how she turned things around. A person becomes jobless and bankrupt due to economic crisis, turns into a founder of a company helping other people to express creativity and improve earning through wise investment. Okay? So that can happen. A scientist who lost family due to virus now dedicate life work to study about viruses and to find cures and vaccines. Another example, a political critical activist wanting always things to change, now dedicating oneself to nourish and care for the earth, for the ecology, relying on the grace of the Mother Nature. Okay, so he just turned his karma around. So you have to see your karma and then you have to turn it around. Okay? So take care of your duty in the present and the future will be taken care of. So Dharma is duty. It is transforming your karma into unselfish duty. It means putting the ego at the surface of others for the greater good. Not thinking of ourselves first and only, but sharing in everyone's happiness, being an honorable contributor to the betterment of society, and opening oneself to the whole of creation will turn karma into dharma. It will improve life in all aspects. You need to be patient. The results are not immediate. Patience and the knowledge of how karma works will see you through until you feel the benefits. So yoga teachings say that try to be good and do good all the time, no matter what the situation is. So karma can be understood, can be released, you can grow spiritually if you can turn karma into dharma. Dharma life brings happiness. Happiness comes from peace of mind, and unhappiness comes from a restless mind. Okay, how yoga comes in. Yoga teaches the practice of restraining of thought waves. Of concentration, to find contentment, and to break through the karmic accumulation. So what that means, the karma comes from desire. So if you focus on something good, like your mantra, something neutral, something pure, then your mind cannot go here and there, desiring this, desiring that, and create new karma. So in the pursuit of happiness, we make many mistakes and create endless karma. In our feverish world of competition, where everybody is looking for answers outside, we believe that our happiness is in material possessions and sensual comforts. We think that our happiness has to be at the expense of someone else's happiness. So we compete and make sure we get the best place, the best part of the cake. So again, the expression of our karma. We fear that someone else's happiness is at our expense. We become jealous and envious. We do not see the intangible, the sublime, and the divine in things. We believe in external success, not an internal peace as success. So we are being pulled in all the different directions by our ambitions and desires. And then we meet with disappointment, anger, because when you follow desire, that's what you will meet. You meet with anger, frustration. So the yogi affirm that in order to find happiness, we need to achieve peace of mind first. This means that we need to eventually recognize that there is no end to desires, that the objects desired, in fact, of our illusions. We project our illusions externally. We eventually learn to turn within. We avoid the love and hate, the ups and downs, the dual tendency of attraction and repulsion, which is likes and dislikes, or love and hate. We're swinging in between. So we always run towards something and run away from something. So eventually you learn this. So yoga help you to go back to the self through controlling the mind. Yoga, when I talk about yoga, I talk about meditation. Okay, so when you practice yoga and meditation, you catches the peace. You calm down the desire. And you turn within. So how yoga help? Classical yoga attributes equal value to self-effort and relaxation. So when you do even the asana class, you need to remember these 2 points. You make the effort and you relax. Okay? In the Shivananda yoga class, the students will learn to come into a posture with control. Hold it while breathing into any discomfort that you feel, any tension, and slowly come out of the posture with control. So there is relaxation and breathing in between the postures, and there is accent on self-awareness throughout. So the postures will lead to meditation. So practicing these teachings regularly will help you to slow down and realize that seeking happiness outside of ourselves leads us nowhere. So yoga shows you a way out. By practicing regularly, your life mission will be revealed to you. Because when you are in connection with ourselves, then automatically we can become selfless. Okay? Then automatically our life mission can be revealed. Hare Om Tat Sat. So it's a big topic. So I hope that you make some sense out of this. I'm sorry, it's always a little long. But the topic of karma, you can talk forever about this. So I would open to questions. Again, those who want to know more, you can go to the blog, the website of the Yoga Farm. There's a blog. There's a lot of teaching in there, YouTube teaching. And also, if you like, you can do a donation to the Yoga Farm. It's also on the website. Okay, the Yoga Farm and many other centers, ashrams, organizations, due to the COVID-19 crisis, is all closed. So we don't receive guests, but we teach a lot online. And there's a whole program of online yoga classes and online workshop. And, we just started in Yoga Farm, the Vastu online, wonderful Vastu online workshop with Niranjan Babu. It's amazing because when he come from India, to America to teach this workshop, not many people show up. But now, at home, he can just teach online and a whole lot of people can join and try to understand the science of space. So all this yoga teaching, Vedanta teaching, Vastu teaching, Ayurveda teaching are all sciences that help us to enhance our life and to become more healthy, more sattvic, more healthy, in order for us to go on this journey of life in a positive and as easy as possible manner. So in which way I can help you? You can ask questions, please. Swami Adi, you can be the...
Okay, if you have any question, you can see the Q&A box at the bottom, and then you can type it in there. Or if you really want to, you can raise your hand, and then we can let you ask your question live. So Michelle Wing has a question. She asked, how should I perceive something good happen to me? Doesn't that mean I sowed a good deed in the past and I get a favorable result now?
Yeah, definitely. Everything is a result of something. So the idea is you have to continuously doing good action, okay? Because it would create good result also for you in some future. Okay. Some other question?
That's it. Okay. Harun Chimin asked, I am curious about your thoughts about getting astrological reading and to predict your karma and dharma. Could there be a reliable source for that?
If you want to do, then you can do Vedic astrology, because Vedic astrology is the study of your karma. And it's still, you can study your karma, but still nobody can predict your karma, your dharma, but we can see your tendencies. We can see the tendencies of your mind. We can see your weaknesses area. We can see your strength area. And you can see your own strength and weaknesses. And then you can understand your karma better. And you can devise, or make decision about how you're going to lead your life. Yeah, but nobody really, can predict precisely what will happen to you. So this is not the purpose of astrology, of course. Some people want to go to astrology because of that, but I would not recommend. I would recommend you see the study of astrology yourself as your own way to understand your own karma. Okay, so don't depend on somebody else to say to you what will happen, but just trust that if you understand the law of karma and how it works, and you live your life accordingly, then you are at ease. You don't have worry, you don't have anxiety, you don't depend on something external to say to you that this will happen and that will happen. Yeah, this is something that we very much wanted to know, because but we don't need to know, because if you understand how the karma works, then you can be in the present and adopt this called karma yoga attitude, or refine yourself and retune yourself to what is important, and then you let go. You cannot have somebody with you all the time telling the different things that will happen to you, because things happen a lot. A lot of things can happen. Okay? Nobody would predict such a situation of pandemic situation. We can say that it's an intense time, but nobody can tell exactly how it will happen and what you should do. Yeah, but if you can learn the basic principles of yoga and understand how karma works, then you're equipped. You're equipped to face your life, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter much. Okay?
Thank you. Another person want to know, he wants to study more. She wants to study more on this subject. Do you have any recommended readings to learn more about this?
The best is you take a training. You take a training in yoga. You learn practically, not just only theoretically. So that would be the best. So we have immersion program, like yoga teachers training course. This is a good opportunity to really learn who you are and what is karma and what is the self and how to get out of it. So any kind of Vedantic teaching, study about Vedanta will help you to understand more also about what is the self. And when you understand about the self, then you understand what is the not self. What is the karma? What is the not self? Okay. So Vedanta philosophy learning. Swami Shivananda has many books about karma and karma yoga. You can start with that book if you like. Okay.
Thank you. Someone named Patrick is asking about accepting life situations for himself. Feels easy, but I continue to strive to make a better life for my child, and that feels like it brings a lot of frustration. Can you comment on accepting karma as a householder?
Okay. I was distracted a moment reading somebody comment here. So can you please repeat the question?
So just keep the comments in the Q&A box if possible, so we can get all the questions from there. So he said he can accept his own karma, but in terms of family karma, his child seems to bring a lot of frustration to him. So how can he accept the karma of his family? Rather, he can accept his own, but his family karma, how can he do that? Accept it out of control.
You think it's separate, you think it's different, but it's your same karma. It's your karma with your family. Okay, it's your own karma. So you think it's separate. Okay, it's your own interpretation of your relationship with your child and how you react to it. This is your karma. It's not just the karma of your son. Yeah, the son has his own karma, but your reaction to his karma is your karma. Okay, so the idea is you would have to apply unconditional love. You have to hold the space for your son, and then you have to allow his karma to unfold and to guide him through this unconditional love. Yeah, so he can have the wisdom, but you cannot expect him to follow exactly what you would like him to become, because that also would make this we call a karmic entanglement. Okay, so you have to be wise in that relationship with your son, which is quite challenging because there is a level of attachment, a level of expectation that is there. So you have to work on it. You have to work on your own expectation, your own detachment. Then you would be able to guide your son in a more selfless manner. Then you, at that time, you will be able to work out your karma of having a close person, a son. That is very close karma. So it's very challenging. So I understand it's difficult, but this is exactly what you need to do.
Thank you. Someone named Tiger is asking about the best way to think about this topic. Is it meditating on your karmic indication? For example, if you struggle in a relationship that you lost, is the best way to think about it to help others through loss and come to contentment?
Yeah, yeah. It's a good way how to say it. I mean, you need to depersonalize the problem. Okay? The key is you need to depersonalize it. If you personalize it, then it becomes karmic. You cannot solve the problem. But if you can step back and depersonalize it, you understand about, what is love, what is ego, what is relationship, and you try to help other people if you can. Then at that time you depersonalize the problem. That means you become more detached, and when you become more detached, you have another perspective, okay, another level of consciousness, another perspective about things. That's how you work it out. Okay, but if you are really get involved in the situation, you blame yourself, you blame the other, you think of different kind of scenario. How is this, how's that, I should have done this, I should have done that. So then you are still struggling exactly from the same level of consciousness that create the problem of a relationship in the first place. Okay, so you need to try to get out of it. I mean, accept it. Yeah, the acceptance is difficult. Okay, but you accept it how you say, in a philosophical kind of view. I mean, you cannot do anything about it. So you know there is a lesson that you are learning here, but you are not really understand the lesson yet. So you step back about it, you accept it, and then you try not to um, to get back into that emotional reaction so much, yeah. And then you start to see it in other people. You start to see that it's not just only your problem, but everyone that has attachment, that has ego, will have to go through this learning lesson and this painful lesson of love. That's how you work out your karma.
Thank you, Swamiji. There's a question here about family karma from a Vietnamese person. She said her father and sister are always suffering. She's trying to help them, but it never works. So how can I help them? Because she hurts so much when she sees them like that.
Yeah, I understand. So the main thing is you have to help yourself. Okay? You help yourself, so you elevate your consciousness again, and you have compassion toward your family members, but you're not involved. Okay? You understand that that's their karma, that's something they are learning, yeah. And you, like earlier I said, you see the way out. You give them advice, but they don't see it because they are in that situation and they don't see it. You see it. So you suffer because you can give them advice. You think that it will solve their problem, but they don't listen. Okay. And then if you get attached to your advice, then you get frustrated. Yeah, because you know that you are right, but they don't listen. So you have to remember that they have to work out their karma. Even the suffering that they are in some way is their lessons. They have to go through that suffering. Of course, if you are attached and you see it very close to you, so it's very difficult for you, yeah. But this is your own karmic lesson. How to love, how to be compassionate, without attachment, without identifying, how to do karma yoga, in fact. Yeah, that means how to do whatever you can for them, but let go of result. That means don't have expectation. Okay? You can say a few words when you can, and then let it be. Don't expect them to understand, don't expect them to listen to you. Do everything for them, ask karma yoga. So I hope I answer um, you, because I understand it's a difficult situation.
Thank you. Someone named Marion has a very short question. Her question is just, does luck really exist?
Luck. Um, mm, mm, we say grace. Yeah. We don't say really luck. Yeah? We say it's some blessing, some kind of grace that you don't understand how it comes. Yes, it does exist. Yeah. It's your action and reaction. You do good action, you have some result. Of course, that. But also there is a level that you cannot explain, and it comes. So we call grace. It can happen. Yes.
Thank you. Rosa is asking, she works in the emergency department and she gets easily upset and overwhelmed, and that she's trying to accept this as her karma and to do this work. She's trying to get over those feelings. However, it's difficult. Is it a reasonable middle step to just smile at her anger and to not take it so seriously, but it's not really achievable for her? She cannot get over it at this moment.
Yeah, I understand. It's quite difficult. So I'm glad that you asked the question. I'm glad that you are one of the medical worker that we were talking about on the line of action nowadays. Very, very challenged. And, you know, so how do I say to you in a few words? You can develop this karma yoga attitude. I mean, you do the best you can. You do your duty. You do the best you can. You detach from result. Yeah? And your motivation is pure. So then you have peace of mind. Okay. So of course you'll be challenged because you want this to happen, that to happen, this person to be more comfortable, this person to be free, this person to have, situation, the person have ventilator or not, all this, and then you feel certain situation, very contradicting to what you wanted, and people die on you, things like that. So it's very challenging, yeah. But I would recommend to you to try to think of this karma yoga attitude as much as you can. That means, you are not the doer. There is something that is higher than you that make the person alive or that make the person die, that make this happen or that happen to that person. You are only one number in it. You are doing your duty. You try to be detached, towards your duty. Yeah, you don't get your ego too much involved. You don't identify too much with your doership, with your work. And you remember your immortal self. You remember that in the, at the end, the self is there. The self in the person that you are serving, the self in yourself is untouched and unhurt and is beautiful. And you try to remember that when you are seeing a situation that is much more difficult, it's more horrific, yeah. But at the same time, you need to, like I said again, detach. I mean, be anchored in that truth. So the more that you be able to do meditation and yoga, the more you'll be able to be anchored in that truth that is something else. Even in the middle of the big battle, be middle of something incredible, yeah, you still have to have that some kind of sense of affirmation that this is not true, that this is not real, that it will come and pass. But the truth is, everyone is fine. Everyone is, their soul is fine. Their soul is untouched. Your soul is untouched. Your mind, your emotions are challenged for a reason. That means you need to become more calm, more detached, more strong in your karma yoga attitude. So it's always something that you can improve, yeah. And it's in the battlefield itself. Okay. So thank you for asking the question.
Thank you, Swamiji. Swami Dharma is asking me to remind that we have a positive affirmations workshop today with Tara Durgadevi at 1 p.m. So that would be a good way to help people.
Very good. Thank you. A lot of teaching out there.
So someone named Ryan.
Positive affirmation workshop. And I also teach a positive thinking workshop and stress management workshop starting actually tomorrow. You can find out the information.
In English or Vietnamese?
It's true. This time I will teach in Vietnamese. I'm not sure there is translation. Okay, so if there are people that sign up that request translation, we can make translation.
Someone named Ryan is asking a question. He's a first responder in New York City. And he's asking for some good prayers and mantras he can do with the sick patients. He's asking about breathing exercises he can do with them. also how to deal with the death that he's seeing every day, and how to manage emotions and find strength to be positive.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very glad that you asked these questions. So number one, the prayer. I don't know if you are in the position to learn the we call Mahamrityunjay mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sukam Pushtivadanam Urvao Kamiva Bandanan Mricho Mukshiyamam Ritan. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sukam Pushtivadanam Urvao Kamiva Bandanan Mricho Mukshiyamam Ritan. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugam Pushtivadanam Urvao Kamiva Bandanan Richo Mukshiyamam Ritan. So this is a classical, very old prayer for those who are sick, for those who are dying, for those who are suffering, and the prayer for liberation, the prayer for peace, and the prayer for healing, all together. So you can go online, and maybe Swami Adi can point it out to him somehow. There's online, there is this prayer that you can download, and you can listen, and you can learn, and you can play with you all the time. Or you can, I don't know, in your work, if you can listen to it. But this is the best prayer. If not, you can repeat a shorter mantra. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 You can repeat this mantra, the mantra of Lord Shiva, who is the pure consciousness, the supreme consciousness, pure consciousness, and the Lord of auspiciousness. So you can repeat that mantra also. It's very helpful. If you feel that you are dealing, and people are dealing with fear and terror, and you also are dealing with fear and terror, so then, there is here the 108 Mahamrityunjay mantra for 4 hours.
1008.
1008. Okay, there. So you can download this in YouTube. Now the people that are feeling very afraid, and if you're feeling also afraid, you can repeat the mantra of Goddess Durga. Just a moment. So Goddess Durga is a very strong power of inner strength. Yeah. So sometimes you need the inner strength. You need to remove these negativities that overwhelm you, or that fear, or that despair, or that fatigue, or whatever. Then you invoke the power within you by repeating the mantra of Goddess Durga, the power of inner strength. Okay, so it goes like this. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Om Dum Durgaye Namaha. Okay, so you can play back this recording, or this YouTube live if you want to get the mantra, and then you can repeat. Okay, so the best is you choose one mantra that is feels good for you, feels strong for you, and then you repeat it in all occasion when you are in the line of duty. Okay, it gives you the strength. Your mind will be captivated by the mantra, because the mantra is very pure sound, and it resonates within you. It removes all the negativities. It will protect you. It protects your psyche, and it's allowed you to do your work without these emotional disturbances. Okay.
He was also asking about breathing exercises.
Oh yeah, breathing exercise. So if with the patients, the best is you ask the person if they can to breathe with the diaphragm. The diaphragm is the muscles that is separating between the abdomen and the chest. It's a very elastic muscle, and it touches the lungs. So if the person can inhale, the abdomen will go out, the diaphragm come up, push on the abdomen and make the abdomen goes up. It allows the air to go into the bottom of the lungs. Okay, and you exhale, then you release the diaphragm, and the abdomen go in, and it push on the bottom of the lungs, and they push the air out. That is called the yogic breath or the diaphragmatic breath. This is the best kind of the breathing, because it's a deep breathing. It brings in more oxygen for the brain, and at the same time it brings in more prana, bringing more vitality and energy to the person. If the person is panicking and fearful and stressed out and tense, it's very important that the exhalation be very slow, light, deep, and as much as possible long. Yeah. So you inhale using the diaphragm, and you exhale as long as possible. You can put a hand on the belly of a person, or put something heavy, or a book or something in the belly of a person, so you can see the movement of the breath. Okay. So when the person breathes like this, then their mind will calm down. Okay. When their mind calm down, then they have more energy. When their mind panic and stress and tense, they have less energy. Okay, so very important for you to calm the mind down, to let the person go into this relaxation response, helping them to focus on their breath, and then be very how to say that, self-confident. Yeah, and be connecting to the breath, because breath is life, prana is life, and just focus on the breath. And then if you like, you can give the person the exercise to focus on the breath at the same time with the mantra Om. Okay? Inhale Om, exhale Om. So the sound is very powerful. So the person that is diseased, their mind is all over the place. But if they can focus on the sound, the simple mantra of Om, which is the mantra, the sound of the breath itself, then it helps the mind to be engaged, and then help to get more prana. Okay? So diaphragmatic breathing, long exhalation, repetition of Om mantra along with the breath. Okay? Try not to panic and try not to grasp for air, but very slowly, calmly breathe and relax.
Thank you, Swamiji. There's a couple more questions. I don't know how much more time we have.
We finish our time. So take one more question and that's it.
Okay. This one is about anger. She said she's trying to practice ahimsa in her life, but every time she seems to react when her kids and her husband do something, and she loses her control, and then she feels sorry after, and she makes the resolve not to do it, but then it happens again. So how can she solve this anger problem?
Yeah, so that means it's her tendency. Yeah, what we talked about earlier today, we talk about pattern of thinking. So this is her tendency. Okay, it might be her constitution. It might be something that is deep from before. So how to deal with this? You have to learn to let go of your expectation. Okay, so let's say something happened, and then you get angry. Then you have to learn to reason to yourself that even this is not happening, but I'm not going to die from it. That means, let go of the expectation. understanding that if you get angry, you are losing more prana and you ruin the relationship. So try to, in the beginning, it's harder to control yourself, but you have to reason yourself that it's not worth it. Nothing is worth it. Okay, so the mind is used to react that way. You know that you are dealing with the habit of the mind. Only it's not about you. Okay, but you can train your mind. Yeah, you can train your mind. The moment that you feel something very upsetting, you have to be ready to let go of it, because you are dealing with your anger and you want to change. So you have to be willing to let go of whatever that you expect to happen. Yeah, and you know that it's not going to be the end of life. Yeah, nothing would be too serious enough for you to sacrifice your peace of mind and the peace of mind of the people around you. Okay, so you have to be convinced about this. Okay, so then you can drop it. Yeah? The best thing is to drop it. Drop the expectation. It takes you a level of humility, so you can let go of your own ego. Okay, it's an ego kind of trait. Okay, and then you can reason yourself out about being patient. Yeah, but the radical idea is to drop the desire.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, everybody, and thank you for being here, being the full 2 hours. It's wonderful to have you, very patient. And again, this will be in live streaming and being recorded, I believe. So you can look back, and if you can share, and also you can share also upcoming announcement of different satsang. The more you help these words out, the better it is. Remember the ashram, go back to the ashram website, see the past articles, past teaching, give donation if you can. And thank you very much to all the translators doing a very good job. Thank you, Priya Chaitanya, Vietnamese, Yashoda, Russian, Yamuna, Japanese, Ambika, Chinese. Anybody else I forgot? Yeah. So thank you, Swami Adipa Shakti, for being the moderator. Okay, Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you. Om, Om, Om. Okay.